rolled over, I saw this thing looking in at me. I watched it blink at me several times. I couldn't move. I was just paralyzed.
This is the Cryptic Creatures Podcast. I am Brian, and with me, as always, is my co-host Todd. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, it's good to be back behind the mic again. It feels like it's been a while.
It is. It has. It does, doesn't it?
How you doing, man?
Great.
Me too.
Great.
Me too.
Great. Loving summer. Loving it.
Absolutely. I hope everyone else is out there too. And again, thanks for listening, guys. Keep on going.
Counting the days for our first show.
Yes.
That we're going to do.
Going to Iowa for a paranormal show. We'll put that out on our Facebook page. If you guys want to check that out and come out and see us. August 2021, something like that, Brian?
Yeah, 20th.
Right.
Through the 23rd.
And another announcement.
1st to the 23rd.
Another big announcement for everyone. We're going to be at Crypticon in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, November.
I think that's November 19th or 2021 as well.
Yeah.
Those same days. Just different month. Before Thanksgiving. So that's going to be a big event. The guys from Finding Bigfoot are going to be there.
Yep.
The whole four, right?
Yep. Brian, or Kenny W. Irish is going to be there.
Kenny Irish. We got to get him on, man. Kenny, if you're listening, we'll be in touch. For sure.
Hopefully.
But yeah, Bobo and Cliff.
Yeah, all the guys from Finding Bigfoot.
Matt Moneymaker and Renee are going to be there, so we'll probably meet them. That'll be cool.
The lady.
That'll be cool.
Yeah,
meet
man,
those
that'd
guys.
be awesome. Yeah, it'd be awesome if we could talk to them. Already.
Maybe we can get Bobo and Cliff to come over and just shoot the shit with us on our podcast.
Heck yeah, man, that'd be
feed
awesome.
from there. I think they would.
Yep, we're gonna have to go for that.
So anyway,
on to tonight's show.
Tonight's show is going to be awesome, man. We have Mark coming on. He had a very close encounter.
That's right, he did.
Real close encounter. And as a child, we've been having a lot of those lately.
Having some young ones.
Yeah, and a couple other things going on in Pennsylvania. So
yeah.
Let's get him on here and hear what he's got to say.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, here we go, man.
Yep.
Hey, Mark, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good. It's nice to have you, man. We finally got connected.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of...
had a bunch of problems with Safari. I deleted it and reinstalled it, and it worked okay.
Good. Well, we're glad you're here.
Should have known it was Safari.
We're glad you're here. And
it should be Apple.
Right. Well, thank you again for coming on. So you had several encounters, and you're in Western Pennsylvania. Is that right, Mark?
That's where I grew up at. I'm in Colorado right now.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, nice.
Gotcha. So your main encounter and these encounters happened when you were younger in Pennsylvania, right?
Correct. Back in the early 70s.
Okay.
All right.
And whereabouts in Pennsylvania were you when this stuff occurred?
It's a little village called Kingston. It's in between Derry and Latrobe. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very unpopulated. I think when I was growing up, there was like 107 people there.
100. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where is that in relation to Pittsburgh?
It's like almost 50 miles southeast of Pittsburgh.
50 miles southeast. Okay.
Yep.
And that's a pretty wooded area, that whole section, is it
Very
not?
much. Very much so.
Right.
Yeah. We lived out in the countryside on my grandparents' property.
Okay. And how old were you when this first incident occurred?
9.
Okay. Well, if you would, go ahead and talk about that and tell us what was going on that day and then lead up to your encounter and tell us about that.
Okay. I had a friend of mine spend the night. We used to share cribs together. His mom and my mom were great friends from elementary school on. So I've known these people pretty much all my life. So I had him spend the night. We lived in a trailer out in the countryside, and it was a two bedroom trailer, and my sister slept in the bottom bunk, and I slept in the top bunk. And he, like I said, he was over spending the night, and pretty much like all young kids, we got in trouble probably three or four times throughout the night for waking my sister up because we were carrying on the top bunk. And got my mom come over and she said, one more time, I'm separating you guys. So he said something to me, made me laugh. Now his head's at one end of the bed, my head's at the other, and we're just sitting there carrying on like 9-year-olds do. And he said something to me that made me laugh, and I tried to stifle my laugh, and I rolled over, covered my mouth. Now the bedroom window was right by my bed, and when I rolled over, I saw this thing looking in at me. I saw two bright red eyes staring right at me. I didn't know what to do. I don't even. Wow. I'm not even sure how long the experience lasted. It might have been 10 seconds. It could have been 5 minutes. I don't know, but I couldn't move. I was just paralyzed. And this thing, I watched it blink at me several times, and it looked like it was crouched over, looking in the window at me. And I didn't know what to do. My friend rolls over to see what's going on, and he sees the thing, and he screams. As soon as he screams, this thing shifted its gaze and looked at him. I'm probably about 1.5 feet away from its face. So, and we had in the trailer we had those real cool, 3-pane glass things that kind of tilted out, and it was open, but I can't smell. So I don't know if it stunk really bad or whatever, but I found my voice, and then we both started screaming, and we jumped off out of the bed, and then my sister was sound asleep when this was going on. She woke up, and because we were screaming, she started screaming, and all three of us ran screaming into my mom's bedroom.
She was just screaming because.
Yeah, and she got, I don't know if she had seen something or heard something earlier or whatever, but she wouldn't let us go back in the bedroom. She wasn't about to go out and investigate it. So the next day, my uncles are more like my older brothers than they are my uncles. They're 6 or 7 years older than I am. And he went out, and I showed him where I saw the eyes at the end of the trailer. And he got a stepladder and measured it, and it was about 9 feet from where I saw the eyes to and there was nothing to stand on.
Wow.
The whole end of the trailer was, and like I said, it looked like it was hunched over, looking in the window, and the eyes were about, I'm going to guess and say 14 inches apart. So
14 inches apart. Wow.
That's
whatever was out there was huge.
Did you see any other, Mark? Did you see any other details of the face other than the eyes?
I more outlines, because, and what really freaked me out was, my sister's 5 years younger than I was. So at the time she was 4. So she slept with the nightlight all the time. Mm-hmm. And the nightlight didn't shed enough light to create eye shine, but the eyes were almost glowing red when I looked at them. And the eyes themselves were huge. It scared the living crap out of me. I had trouble sleeping in that bed for a long time. My dad told me I was being stupid and told me to get to bed. But that was the first experience with it.
What kind of woods and systems are around your grandparents' place there at the time?
Well, the ridge that goes through there is called the Chestnut Ridge. And it starts in Virginia or West Virginia, and it goes up through Pennsylvania and stuff.
So there's some caves in that.
Yes, there is caves. We used to see a lot of bats all the time too. Especially in the summertime.
Okay.
that was one instance. And then,
well, Mark, what did you do after that happened? You guys got up the next day. Did you stay
my
in the house?
grandparents lived, 60, 70 yards away from where our house was. And we went over there, and that's where I got my got a uncle. The other one was at a friend's house. And he went over and he measured it for me. All the grass was all tramped down around the window and stuff. But the ground, I think, was just too hard for putting prints down.
Did you guys stay out of the woods after that, for the most part, or?
I was born and raised in and around woods and stuff, so I stayed out for a while, but I eventually went back in.
Mm-hmm.
So it freaked me out for a while because back in that time I didn't know what Bigfoot was. I had no idea. All I know is this big creature sitting there looking at me through the window, and it just scared the crap out of me.
And what did your uncles say? Did they surmise that that's what was looking in your window? What did they?
He didn't say anything either, other than the fact that we were both crazy.
Okay, I got you.
Like two little kids, it's like vivid imagination, but I saw what I saw.
Right.
And that memory's just
but if two of you saw the same thing, that's...
Yeah. I mean, I conferred with him, and he saw what I saw. And it's like, no, you can't blame that on vivid imaginations. So
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what did you guys do after that? Did you started looking into what Bigfoot was or anything like that as kids? Or?
It was actually a couple of years after that. There was another experience that was a little bit more unsettling than that one was.
Okay.
Really?
About a quarter of a mile down the road from us was a farmer, and he had about 50, 60 head of cattle. And something kept getting in the trash. And his son had to keep cleaning up the trash all the time. So what he would do is he put a loaded 22 by the back door. And if he heard the trash cans rattling around at night, he wanted to go out and investigate it. He was expecting, a raccoon or a possum or, skunk or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he went, it was about 1 o'clock. No, it wasn't even that late. It was earlier than that because the night that all this was happening, I was watching TV with my mom and my sister. And he heard the trash, so it must have been around 9 or 10 o'clock, now that I'm thinking about it. And he went out, he heard the trash cans rattling around, and he turned on the back porch light and stuck the gun out the door, and he saw what was getting in the trash can, and there were steps leading up to the back door, and when he opened up the door, whatever was getting in his trash stood up, and you couldn't see its head above the roof line. It disappeared from him. So
wow.
all I could see was like his shoulders down, and he freaked out, shot this thing in the leg, and it took off running, and it made such a god awful sound. It was unreal. They had a 5-foot fence around the property, and on that 5 foot, he said it walked over the 5-foot fence.
Wow.
Didn't jump. It walked.
Wow.
And while we're at the same time that this is going on, me and my mom and my sister were sitting there watching TV, and we heard this god awful screaming sound. And my grandfather used to raise Weimaraners, German bird dogs. Mm-hmm. And all the dogs, at the time, I think they had 4 dogs. And they were all whining and crying and wouldn't come out of their dog boxes. And we heard this screaming sound going, and then we heard, like, trees breaking. And it's like, what in the world is going on? Well, I got up the nerve to go up and investigate the area. I think it was about 2 days later, and I found a set of tracks. I mean, it was probably only 70 yards from our trailer. I'm guessing right around there. And I found a set of tracks going through the woods. And when you look up about 6-7 feet or so, you could see branches just broken right off of trees. And whatever was running through there was running through in a straight line and breaking branches as it went. Well,
Wow.
I was only around 11 at the time, so I got nervous and I went down and got my grandpa, my dad, and my 2 uncles, and we went up and we followed the tracks as far as they would go, and the broken limbs the whole way through. The grass was getting higher, so you couldn't see the tracks as good. The one thing I found interesting was every other track had a dark brown spot on it. So
The blood.
that's kind of what I was thinking when looking back at it.
I was just going to ask you if you saw a blood trail or splatter or something.
It's like I said, every other track had a dark brown spot on it. But at 11, you're not a very good track.
Yeah, if only you could have picked that up. Man.
Yeah.
How big was the track, Mark, do you think? Did you measure it or anything?
No, we didn't. I mean, back in those, that was probably 1975, I'm guessing. Back in those days, nobody even, if you saw something like that, you didn't tell anybody else because they all thought you were a crackpot.
Right. Yeah.
And so my dad told me just to keep my mouth shut about it. But when we followed the trail the whole way out, it just stopped. I didn't see anything, and it was weird. But something spooked my dad and my grandpa, because my dad grabbed me by the back of the shirt and the seat of the pants, and was carrying me like a piece of luggage out of the woods, and my grandpa was kind of trotting, and my two uncles were doing the same thing, and everybody kept looking behind them. So I don't know if they saw something and didn't tell me, or what the deal was.
Maybe.
You say the tracks just stopped, though?
It stopped. The broken branches stopped. The tracks stopped. Everything just stopped. And it's like, and there's, call me goofy or whatever, but there's no way that a guy could have broken a branch that size 7 feet off the ground.
No.
I don't know how. A healthy tree snapping a branch like that.
Yeah, there's no way.
And the whole thing it freaked me out. So that was, and I had my dad and my grandpa and my 2 uncles for witnesses of what I saw.
So what happened after that? What were you guys? How long were you on that property?
We moved the next year. We moved from the countryside into town the next year.
Yeah, that's probably why.
I've got one other story to share with you guys.
Sure.
Have you guys ever heard the Sierra sounds?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Brian? Have you heard them?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You haven't heard the Sierra sounds, Brian?
No, I don't think so.
I think you have.
Okay. So a couple years ago.
I'll play them for you, Brian.
Okay.
Okay.
They're very unique. But anyhow, that's a prelude to the next story. It was a very hot summer day, and humidity and heat, and it's like 98 degrees, 98% humidity. It's hot and it's humid. We lived in a trailer with no air conditioning, and I wasn't allowed to go up to these dams that were above the house there. It was a several mile hike to get there, and I wasn't allowed to go up there because I was, I was told I was too young. But all the other kids that I knew were going up there and going swimming. Mm-hmm. So my dad was sleeping and my mom was at work, and I figured, oh, nobody watching me. I'll take off with my friends. So I went up, and it's like, well, my dad's going to be getting up before too long, so I got to head back. And back in Pennsylvania, the state flower is the mountain laurel. And mountain laurel goes anywhere from knee high to like 10, 15 feet high. And there's a large section of mountain laurel that I had to come through. And as I'm walking, heading for home, I hear the sound behind me. And it sounded like somebody talking. And I thought it was my friends screwing around with me. Right. And then so I stopped, and the sounds behind me stopped. And then I heard more sounds off to the left. And then I heard it behind me again. And it's like, what in the world is that? And it's making all this like chattering, goofy sounds. And then I heard it to the right. And it's like, and then I heard it behind me. And then it kept switching sides. And then I heard it in front of me. I got freaked out and ran as fast as I could to get out of there. I mean, I ran the whole way home.
So was it like somebody talking gibberish or?
Yeah. And a couple of years ago, my son and I was watching some show on Bigfoot discoveries and stuff. And that was the first time that I heard the Sierra sounds. And when I heard them, the hair on the back of my neck and on my arms stood up because that's very close to what I heard.
Really? Okay. Gotcha.
So you know what I'm talking about when that's why I asked if you'd ever heard the Sierra sounds.
Yeah, we'll try to maybe implement a little bit of the Sierra sounds into this episode if we can at the beginning or end.
Okay.
So people can kind of hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll
maybe put it in the background, something like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
There's two of them across the creek at the big rocks. It's a hard act to follow.
He sounds like he talks to us and they talk to each other.
Yeah. Right there, I just seen movement right through there.
Yeah, those are some interesting things, the Sierra sounds. And you say when you heard that thing, it just made the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
Yeah, because that's exactly, well, not exactly, but very similar to what I heard when I was going through the mountain laurel. And I heard it come from at least 5 different directions.
Wow.
Never saw anything. You know, can't smell, so I don't even know if anything stunk. So.
Well, you'd already seen something quite a few years before that, really close up, obviously. So.
Yeah.
It sounds like that. It sounds like that guy that was hanging around your place was a really tall creature.
Yeah.
A really big fella.
Yeah, 9.5, maybe 10 feet tall. Yeah. That's why I wondered how big the footprints were.
Well, I would say the footprints were at least 18, 19 inches long, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But That's just a guess. I don't remember that far that long ago.
I don't know exactly if this is true, but I was told by an individual that how you know the height of a Bigfoot is you divide their footprint in inches by 2 and convert to feet. So if you got an 18-foot print, you got a 9-foot tall Bigfoot.
Well, sounds about right.
Now, is that true? I have no idea.
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
I'm not an expert. All I know is
Sounds like it could be true.
Me either. But so, Mark, ever since then, I mean, you were fairly young when all this happened. What did you think about Bigfoot? Did you investigate, study, try to go?
I sure did. I've been hooked on it ever since.
Okay.
My whole family thinks I'm crazy, except for my mom.
So. Welcome to the club, buddy. Welcome to the club.
So do ours.
My mom will side with me. You know.
Your mom's what?
She'll side with me.
She will side with you.
The stories.
Yeah, mine won't.
So.
Mine won't either. But that's cool. What have you gone on any excursions or anything like that, Mark, or done any?
No, I haven't gone on any official excursions. But every time
man, you're in Colorado. You need to get out there in the mountains and start looking around.
I hunt. I spend a lot of time in the outdoors, and every time I go out, I'm always looking for sign or prints or something.
It's got to be in the right place. You know what you should do? Get on the BFRO website. Mm-hmm. Look at Colorado and see if there's been sightings and try and go there to hunt.
I've been to the Sasquatch Museum up in Bailey, Colorado, several times.
Oh, yeah.
They've got a bunch of sightings in Bailey, Estes Park, down around Pikes Peak.
Nice. Pikes Peak, I think that's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a place down there, I believe it's called Monkey Creek, is kind of the nickname of it, and supposedly in that area it's a breeding site.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was. They've had the hikers and stuff disappear from that area.
Yeah, I would be careful down there.
Yeah,
if that's the case, but that'd be
why
pretty
I'm
cool.
Not. Yeah,
Mark,
my little 357 against something that's 9 foot tall.
Might just piss it off. Might just piss it off.
Yeah.
Mark, do you want to see
something I don't want to do?
Do you want to see one again, though, Mark?
Yes and no. I'm always curious to I think I do, but
right.
If the thing's aggressive and means me harm, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. I can't outrun it.
You gotta defend yourself the best you can.
Yeah. And hopefully it's not in a bad mood.
Right.
So,
Mark,
I don't know.
Why do you think? Just some questions for you. Why do you think that Bigfoot hasn't been classified as a live creature by science?
Well, I've got a couple theories on that. One theory being that possibly the government doesn't want us to know about it, and they're keeping scientists hush-hush. They're keeping things off. I don't know what these things are. There's no doubt in my mind that they're real, and that there's quite a few of them. You look at the stories from all over the country. They've got sightings in 49 of the 50 states. The only exclusion is Hawaii, and
they got their own thing in Hawaii.
There has to be something.
I've heard the same thing. There's none ever been classified or seen in Hawaii. I'm sorry, not classified, seen or claimed to have been seen in Hawaii. They have other things there, but yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be something, and it's got so many different names. Wild man, skunk ape. There's several hundred different Indian names for the same thing.
There's a lot of them.
So this one, and it's not like something that's just poked up in the last 50 years or something. We're talking about something that people have had sightings and experiences with for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
If not thousands of years.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure if what these things are. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about religious aspects and stuff like that. But my other theory is, they're descendants of Nephilim.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about them, and I think they can travel like I don't know.
Well, the natives consider them spiritual.
Yeah, I mean, when you listen to the Sierra Sounds, they also talk about seeing spheres of light. And
we've heard that a lot.
They don't know what the connection is, but they've seen strange things besides just hearing things, and they've had interactions with these things for years. So and finally they got close enough to actually record the Sierra Sounds, but that's back in the 70s as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, we've looked at all avenues. Believe me, we've talked about Nephilim. I don't know. I don't know what to think. As I go on more and more and talk to more people, I tend to think that they're not as spiritual or dimensional as people say. I think they're more of a flesh and blood creature, but I also feel like maybe they have some kind of, I don't know, sixth, seventh sense about them that they're able to be elusive or whatever.
I mean,
but you never know. You don't know. These things could come. Aliens could become dropping these things down and saying, I've heard so many weird stories.
If I had answers, I'd be rich.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you wouldn't be sitting here with us.
Sure I would.
Would you?
Well, that's cool. Yeah. We would be too.
That'd be pretty awesome. We'd be honored.
Mark, do you think these things will ever be known to man, classified from science? Yeah. Do you think there will come a day?
I do.
I think it's going to take.
I don't know what it's going to take for that to happen, but whether, because even with today's technology and special effects and stuff, people are going to look. Even if you get footage of this thing that's clear as day,
it's going to take you walking right into downtown Seattle.
Yep,
that's what it's going to take.
Yeah, and there's so many people that even if they have proof, they're still not going to believe.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
Well, the thing that gets me is people are told about creatures they've never seen before, and science says they're real, and people believe that.
Yeah.
Right.
So right away, on the adverse side of that, science says, well, they can't be real. Mm-hmm. So people believe they can't be real.
But there's a lot of evidence, enough evidence to me between pictures, videos, audio,
right,
interviews, encounters with people like yourself.
Yeah, but people, and I've said this before, people don't want to know. They don't want to know that there's something like that living out there with us. They don't want to know.
Exactly.
They're happy in their little bubble with us being the center of the universe, and they don't want to know that anything else is out there bigger and better than we are.
I agree 100%.
I want to see one, and I want to know.
I do too.
100%. I mean, I do believe, but I want to see one.
Yep.
Not up close, not piss my pants, see one. Be like, maybe, there's a Bigfoot. See you later.
Oh, there it goes. Hey.
Yep, I saw it. That's real. Okay.
Yeah, I heard one of your podcasts where a guy down in Florida had the experience with the skunk ape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from
Bigfoot
what I heard,
Bry.
the skunk apes are very, they're very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yes and no. I've heard it both ways with skunk ape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the video of that one. I don't know if he was pulling apart a tree stump or what he was doing, but the guy was standing there filming.
Yeah, that was down in Louisiana, right?
Was it in Louisiana?
I think so.
I don't know where it was at. I don't know.
I think that video was Alabama or Louisiana.
I know what you're talking about. That one's a good one.
All I know is it was swampy.
Mm-hmm.
Those down there are very aggressive.
And that thing stood up, and he was like, "Oh,
gotta go."
Time to leave.
Yeah, that video was pretty convincing.
Yeah, but I've been doing a bunch of reading and stuff like that. I haven't been going out with groups of people doing stuff like that. It's mostly being on my own reading stuff, and you know, I read several books about DNA samples and stuff like that they've submitted, and that's why I was giving credence to the whole Nephilim theory, because the DNA shows half female and the other half unknown. They don't know what it is. You know, they can do the DNA testing and figure out what the mother was, and it's like it's a human and female, but they don't know what the other half is.
I just don't trust these scientists. I just don't trust them.
Yeah, me either. So,
I mean, they're going to agree with whoever signs their check. So
they're going to do whoever funds their project.
Exactly. And whoever's signing that check is the boss.
So
and they're going to do.
If they say, okay, there is no Bigfoot.
Right. Yeah. Oh, this DNA is inconclusive.
Yeah.
Is it
inconclusive or it disappears?
Is it?
I don't know what happened to it.
I was told that the reason that the government covers up Bigfoot is because of the logging industry, and that if Bigfoot
that's what I think.
If Bigfoot was announced as a creature, there would be a wildlife federation out there saying endangered species, you cannot cut down any more trees.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's true, but that's the craziest ass reason in my mind to not tell people that there's an 8 to 10 foot tall bipedal ape-like creature roaming our country. Yep. Be careful out there.
Yeah. Well, if you look at it this way, all state parks, all national parks, they're all based on revenue. And if you got an 8 to 10 foot tall creature roaming through the forest and they know about it, how many people are actually going to want to take their families to camping?
Yeah. Less than will want to. There's going to be some people out there that are going to flock and want to see this.
Exactly.
It might cause mass chaos. Who knows? Who knows what would happen?
That may be another reason why they're keeping it a secret. You know? Yeah. Like you said the other day, Todd.
Who knows? Because I've read those missing 411 books, or at least a couple of them, and they say all around Yosemite is a hot zone for missing people. Mm-hmm. And the state parks or the national parks don't report this or keep a tally of how many people have disappeared and or any findings that they have. So it's
interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, it's good to know.
Yeah. Do you think that Bigfoot's aggressive, Mark? Do you think that's why some of these people are coming up missing? Maybe?
I think my theory on this is, and I'm completely uneducated and it's all guesswork, but my theory of it is, for the most part, I don't think they're aggressive, but if they feel that you're a danger or a threat to their family pod,
right,
they're gonna do what they have to do.
Yeah, I think the same thing.
So
unless we're talking about the Southwest Bigfoots, then those assholes are just mean.
Yeah.
So we hear. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, we don't know for sure. That's what we hear.
But I'll take your word for it.
Right. Well, Mark, man, we appreciate you coming on tonight and telling your encounters and your stories.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. That was awesome. I don't know what I would have done if I'd have seen that thing staring in the window at me.
Froze probably crazy. Like he did.
Yeah, I just
hoping it was a dream.
I couldn't even move. It wasn't until my buddy screamed that I screamed.
Yeah,
I couldn't even find my voice.
Wow, that was.
He probably took off pretty quick after that, I'm guessing.
I don't know. We did.
All right, Mark.
Until we got to my mom's room.
You take care, bud. And if anything else happens out in Colorado, be sure to let us know.
Yeah, and be careful out there by yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Take some weapons with you.
I always go
in
the grounds with a sidearm.
Right.
Because there's a lot more out there than just Bigfoot.
Yeah, there's bears and mountain lions, especially in Colorado.
That is true. People got to think about that when they go squatching. Hey, wait a minute. You're probably going to encounter maybe a bear or possibly a mountain lion. Yeah. Although I hear mountain lion encounters
several times.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard mountain lion encounters are really scarce.
Surprise attacks.
Yeah. They're very aggressive.
Yeah.
And they're you don't know they're there until they're
on your head.
Right.
Hopefully you see them in time before one jumps in your back.
Exactly. Well, again, bud,
all right, Mark.
We appreciate it. You take care.
You too.
Keep on listening to the show, man.
Good talking to you guys.
You too, bud. See ya.
Thanks.
See ya.
You know, I don't know.
Wow.
If I would have been the kid that froze when I saw the Bigfoot or the one that screamed or both.
I'd have been the one shitting my pants.
Yeah. Again, another amazing story.
That was crazy. And then the other ones, wow.
I just can't believe, you know, how many people have had these encounters, Brian. I mean,
yeah.
I know we've only done, you know, 20 some shows, but there's so many people out there. And it's just crazy.
And there's probably a ton more that somehow we got to find and get them on here.
Right.
And
we will.
This needs to be told. This needs to be out there. This needs to be.
Yes.
People need to know.
We want our listeners to hear as many encounters that we can, so they can help understand what's going on out there. And again, thank you guys for listening. We are still growing as always. We appreciate it.
Man, it's amazing how many people are listening to this show. Thank you so much, guys.
We're going to try to keep delivering you good content, great content as much as we can. We like to keep it short and sweet as always. You know, so that's our thing. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at info@cryptidcreatures.co. You can check out our Facebook page at Cryptid Creatures. Click on our links, go to our pod page, check out all the stuff going on there. We're on Twitter. Where else, Brian? Instagram.
Yep. If you go to any of those and click the links in our bio, that'll take you to everything that we're on.
Right.
So
we'd love to hear some reviews, what you guys think about the show, and definitely if you've had an encounter and you want to come on and talk.
If you like the show, please go on and give us a like, give us a follow, leave some reviews. That would help us immensely.
Yep. So we're going to be offering merchandise coming down the road and all that stuff. So
it's coming.
We again thank everybody. So again, Brian, appreciate you hanging out with me, man.
Oh man, always a good time.
All right.
Always learning something new.
Again, till we're behind the mic, you take care, brother.
Right on, you too.
See ya.